Hi.
I'm gonna sit down. I don't want to stand up. Okay, so I am going to be reading from Esther 4. Yesterday, Donna gave us the whole story, so I don't have to give any backstory. But we're going to be picking off where Esther is just found out that the Jews are in trouble, basically. So, okay, Esther 4, 10 through 17 is what I'm going to be reading from. And my version might be different from that one. Okay. Then Esther told Hathach to go back and relay this message to Mordecai. All the king's officials and even the people in the provinces know that anyone who appears before the king in his inner court without being invited is doomed to die unless the king holds out his gold scepter. And the king has not called me to come to him for 30 days. So Hathach gave Esther this message to Mordecai. Mordecai sent this reply to her. Don't think for a moment that because you're in the palace you will escape when all the other Jews are killed. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will arise from some other place, but you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you remain king for such a time as this. Then Esther sent this reply to Mordecai. Go and gather all the Jews of Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will do the same. Then, though it is against the law, I will go and see the king. If I must die, I must die. So Mordecai went away and did everything as Esther ordered him. So, that was kind of a lot, but we can see in the first part how Esther was clearly nervous. She didn't want to do that. That's scary. She was probably around the older high school girl's age at this point, and I know if my dad was telling me to go do that, I would not want to, and I'm sure y'all wouldn't want to either. So, that's a real fear. So in the Bible, this is kind of going off for a second. I promise it'll come back. But there's all of these are the 6 different words used for minister in the Bible. I'm not going to read them. You can read them. But they all basically mean to serve or to stand in one's presence, to be an attendant. It means to do something serving people. And funnily enough, if I say minister, all of us are going to think of a teacher, of a preacher, youth minister, children's minister. But that's not what minister actually means. So, we are all called to minister. No matter who you are, whether you started following Jesus 2 days ago or if you have your whole life, we are called to minister. And that's scary sometimes because you don't really know how to do that. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to be called to do. But no matter where you are, you're going to be called to do something else in different seasons of your life. You might be called to minister to a specific person in one season or just be a leader through your actions. So 2 Timothy 1, verse 8, or 7, sorry. Elise actually read it yesterday, so that's kind of funny, but it says, For God has not given us a spirit of fear and timidity, but of power, love, and self-discipline. So it's scary to go and minister to people. It's scary, even if you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. Loud faiths and quiet faiths can both work alike. Loud faiths, maybe you're talking all the time about Jesus, you're very loud about how much you love people, how much Jesus works in their lives, but maybe a quiet faith can minister to other people in different ways. Just be a leader, show people how to love through your actions, your words. So, both loud faiths and quiet faiths can minister, and no matter who you are, you can minister to people. It doesn't matter where you are, or how much of the Bible you know. It matters that you know Jesus and that He's working in your heart, and it matters where your heart is. So now I'm going to go to whatever Mordecai's response to her. He said, Don't think for a moment that because you're in the palace you will escape when all the other Jews are killed. If you keep quiet at a time like this, deliverance and relief for the Jews will come from another place, that you and your relatives will die. Who knows if perhaps you were made queen for such a time as this. So, we see Mordecai really level Esther. She's nervous. She's saying, I don't want to do this. I'm going to be, no. And he's really just like, it's not about you. It's not your kingdom. It's God's kingdom. It's God's people. It's not your people. And he really levels her head and brings her back to earth for a sec. And so we need people like that in our lives. We need friends, maybe a dad, a mom, a grandma, a boyfriend, no matter what it is, you need someone in your life that loves you well enough that can bring you back to earth and really show you how you need to be called and say, hey, I see this in your life. I know you're going to be so good at this. I see the way the Lord's working in your life, and I know you can do this. Or maybe it's someone saying, hey, I see the way you're talking about this person. You don't need to do that. Maybe it's bringing you down to earth in different ways. But we need people in our lives, friends in our lives, sisters, siblings maybe, that are going to help us be the best mirror of Jesus that we can be. And then I'm gonna read Esther's reply. Go and gather all the Jews of Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. My maids and I will do the same. Then, though it is against the law, I will go and see the king. If I must die, I must die. So Mordecai went away and did everything as Esther ordered him. So, we can see this shift in Esther's focus. It shifts from, well, I'm scared, I'm gonna die, I'm nervous. That's not like, it's illegal, if he doesn't do this, I'm gonna get in big trouble, like, I don't wanna do this. To, okay, what can I do for God? What can I do for Jesus? What am I being called to do? And we can see that shift. And I think the biggest, the biggest way she shifted this is from looking what can she do. No matter if your focus is on yourself, you're never going to be able to minister in the way you need to. You're never going to be able to reach people the way you could. Even if you are really good about reaching people, imagine how much better you could be if your heart was focused on Jesus. It's really not about you. It's not about the praise you'll get. It's not about any of that. It's about God. It's about the kingdom. It's the kingdom work, and it's not for your glory. So she changes that shift, and no matter what you do, if you're always focused on what you can't do, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to feel ready because you're focused on yourself. But if you're focused on what the Lord can do through you, if you're focused on what Yahweh is able to do, you're never not going to be ready. You're always going to be ready to minister to someone new, even if you don't know everything about the Bible or know every story about Jesus. It doesn't matter if you don't know as many worship songs as someone else. What matters is your heart. It matters who you're focused on. And whenever you abide with the Lord, Macy and Ethan had a keynote at one of our church camps, and it's my Roman Empire. It replays in my head all the time. But whenever you're abiding with Christ, it will show. You don't have to put on a show for people to see that you are walking with the Lord. It flows through you. Fruit takes time to grow, and whenever you're abiding with Christ, the fruit might not come super fast, but it will come, and we just need to be faithful through that. So I have a video or song from Elevation Worship. It's called More Than Able, and I think this song, if you really listen to the lyrics, I don't know, it just does something. And the lyrics are so truthful and very raw and emotional. So I want you to listen, or maybe you want to pray. No matter what you want to do, no matter what you feel like the Lord is putting on your heart, I want to call you to do that. So do what you must.